7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Hello, and welcome to Depraved Indifference to Intelligent Life, my weekly little vlog thing that I do here. And today I would like to talk to you guys about webcomics. Specifically, some of the webcomics that I follow. Some of the ones that are my absolute must, need to check them every time they update. That I keep very close tabs on and tend to enjoy quite a bit. Now, some of you probably already know about some of these. Maybe you know about all of them. Regardless, I will throw links to the websites in the description below if any of you want to check them out. So, what comics do I read? Well, one of the first is Girl Genius by Katya and Phil Folio. I have been following them probably since I think they had about one book done when I started following them, and I have been a big fan of them ever since. I've loved Phil Folio's work, both Phil and Katya Folio, since the days of Dragon magazine. I ended up buying. I had a whole stack of old articles and comics from Dragon magazine, and Phil and Katya Folio. Their Fun with Phil and Dixie was in that particular magazine, and I fell in love with his art style. It was very, very humorous, so I quite enjoyed that. And seeing Girl Genius and being like, oh, that's Phil Folio. So I enjoy reading that one. It is all about a steampunk world gone mad, where people that are considered having the spark of genius tend to be kind of unstable when they get going. And it has a whole steampunk aesthetic with a world with monsters and mad scientists and all kinds of amazingly good stuff. I quite enjoy that particular one. I also follow a comic called Girl Power, spelled GRRL, Power, which is all about superheroes in a modern day world. And the main character is Sydney, who runs a comic book shop and has ended up finding some artifacts that give her power. And she is part of a private military force called Archon that deals with superpowered individuals, that has superpowered individuals on the staff to deal with threats from other superpowered individuals. So it's kind of cool where that's all going. Sydney definitely has a foul mouth, though, to be warned. But it is quite enjoyable. There's definitely a lot of both cheesecake and beefcake going around now and then. Some wonderful, gratuitous little shots of abs and beautiful women and beautiful men. So if you like that sort of thing, you might want to check out Girl Power by Dave Barak. I think that's Dave Barak. Yeah, I think that's about right. We have also Gunner Creek Court. Now, I know some of you know Gunner Creek Court, but it is one of those ones that I have been watching, I think, by Tom Siddle. He had, I think, 3 or 4 chapters done when I started reading it, and he's up around 50-some chapters now. It is very wonderful. It can be a little dark at times, and definitely a little bit real and surreal, but it is really quite good. It started off very lighthearted, and then it started slowly introducing dark moments here and there. And as the story has progressed and as the characters have gotten older, those darker moments have gotten a little bit more often, which is kind of like almost like Harry Potter in a way. Whereas the books went on, the situations got worse and worse. So I'm digging Gunner Creek Court. I quite like it. And Tom Siddle, if you are watching this, you are a troll, sir. you are a troll in the best possible way. What else do I watch or keep an eye on? Two comics in particular that I started watching about the same time. Uh, PvP Online, Player versus Player by Scott Kurtz, uh, who is, which I'm sure many people know. Uh, he has a whole series that was like set in a gaming magazine office um, with the two friends who are like partners in running it, um, Cole Richards and Brent Sienna. And then there's Jade and Francis comes in, who's a young kid, and Skull the troll that only certain people can see, but everybody at the office can see him. And there's been a whole lot more over the years. And it's been a wonderful series with lots of really touching moments and lots of great comedy. It's been a fairly simple online webcomic, and it's really good. I enjoy it quite a lot. I have been for years and years, and I hope he continues to do it for years and years more because it is one of the staples in my webcomic. Also, one of the staples is Penny Arcade by Mike Krahulik and I think it's Mike Krahulik and Jerry Holkins, otherwise known as Gabe and Tycho. They have been on my radar since early days, early days. I've been enjoying them, enjoying watching their strange off-brand uh, weirdness that they have going on in their comic. Uh, the character of Tycho is by far my favorite. I happen to be very much drawn to his strange evil, but not really. It's quite fun. Uh, they do all kinds of stuff, gaming related and television related, and just strangeness, absolute strangeness. I also keep an eye on Goblins, which I have been. It was on hiatus for a while because of health issues of Terrell Hunt, the uh, creator, not only the writer, but the artist behind Goblins as well. But those issues, I think, have been mostly taken care of, and he's getting back into uh, quite regular updates, which I am happy for. It is all about a group of goblins that decide to become player characters, and because they figured why not? Why should the heroes that come in and try and destroy their village be the only ones that can be player characters? So they decide to be player characters, and it follows their adventure in the big wide world, which is really quite interesting, really quite funny, and it is one of the greatest D&D comics that I have ever had the privilege of reading. Also, I follow Spinneret, which is done by Crazy Crow. He's done some other work as well that I have not actually followed, but I've came into Spinneret fairly early on, all about this wonderful girl who ends up getting superpowers, and she gets 6 arms and the ability to shoot webbing out of her butt, like she's an actual spider, and she calls herself Spinneret, and she decides to become a superhero, and ends up meeting up with Mecha Maid and Tiger, although everybody calls him Black Tiger, and he's like, no, I'm not Black Tiger, I'm just Tiger, but he's an African American, so everyone's calling him Black Tiger. There's Dr. Universe and Greta Gravity, who are a couple of villains, as well as some other villains as well. There's definitely some dark tones in Spinneret, but there's also great comedy as well, along with the League of Canadian Superheroes, starring the cross-dressing Green Gable, who is a man who dresses up like Anne of Green Gables, so kind of like Green Lantern, but it's Green Gable. It's kind of cool. You've got Cat o' Nine Tails, who is from Quebec, and you have the Werewolf of London, Ontario, who's basically a werewolf, as well as Minerva, who ends up showing up in one of the episodes of Spinneret and gets connected to the League of Canadian Superheroes. She's a Were Cerebus, from hell that's now living in Canada and is helping out. So it's very silly and very amusing. There's I think 6 books or maybe five or six books put out by Crazy Crow for Spinneret that you can collect the whole thing, which is a great idea to do. Um, what else do I have? Weregeek. Weregeek is another one by Alina Pete, who is a Canadian and Native American as well, and she does phenomenal work. It is all about a group of geeks that hang out and play games, and they have sections of it where the players are playing their characters. So we get to see all the action in the comic is like within the game universe itself, which is really quite fun and awesome. I love seeing the D&D. The vampire ones I enjoyed quite a bit. I think they're done with the vampire ones, maybe for a while. They're getting into a Changeling the Lost LARP, all kinds of fun stuff. And she had the longest running um, arc over five of her books, which the ending blew my mind. I did not see it coming at all. So if you want to check that out, I would get started right at the beginning and work your way through as fast as possible to get to up to current. Because yeah, there's some stuff in that. What else? Mystery Babylon, otherwise known as Kick Girl, by I can't remember her name. Uh, Val. Val, I think something. I I can't remember the last name. Um, I'll put it up on screen here. Uh, she does a comic all about the world's like all ended and everything, and Kick Girl is this like demon girl that is like thousands of years old, and she's prophesized to tear open the seal and start the apocalypse, and she wants nothing to do with it. Uh, there's a young priest acolyte called Zero, I think, and there is a group of cultists and some bad guys and some good guys, and everything's all there's a lot of little biblical references thrown in there as well. Um, and it's really weird because there's also a lot of modern day technology in there as being like ancient relics that Kick has kept. It's strange. It only updates once a week on Mondays, but the quality is amazing in the art, and I really enjoy it. It is one I always check out every chance I get. And lastly, but not leastly, one of my webcomics is Manly Guys Doing Manly Things by Cola Squid, I believe, is her particular username that she uses. Um, and it is all about a guy who's like from the future. He's a future soldier that was genetically created to be a super soldier, and he is back in the past with his ex-wife. He's got 2 kids, and he runs a business where it's his job to help uh, manly guys integrate back into society. And a lot of them, there's a lot of video game references in here because you've got Kratos from God of War, who happens to be one of the people that's at the office. You've got Ganondorf from Legend of Zelda, who's there. You've got a young boy who's like an intern. I think his name's Joel, and he is from the Pokemon universe. So he's got a giant Gyarados that he's evolved that is his pet that he calls Mr. Fish. It is absolutely bizarre and completely strange, but it brings up a lot of interesting points in how people interact and how appearances can often be deceiving. And I really like it. It's quite funny. I was one of my friends put me on to Manly Guys Doing Manly Things, and there's a lot of beefcake, lot of beefcake, which I'm okay with. There's nothing wrong with that at all. So yeah, those are some of my webcomics that I like and I enjoy quite a bit. So what comics do you like? Please tell me about it. Throw those comments in the comment section. And don't forget to tap the like button if you like what I'm doing, and tap the subscribe button if you haven't, so you can be kept apprised of when I do new videos. Uh, but throw those comments in the comment section. Let me know what webcomics you like, what ones you think I might be interested in. Throw those comments in the comment section. I'd love to check them out and get a discussion going. So do all that, and until next time, you all take care, and I'll see you around.